Ah, Australia. It's now like 7 or so years since I have been there, and it's still one of my favorite vacations. So since I'm currently unemployed and I'm looking at all this free time before my electricity and internet are shut down for late payments, I decided to relive the pleasant time I had down under by doing another 100 days in a video game challenge. And so I started my first day by creating my avatar and creating a new name for my new future home, Los Nubivera. After that, I took off on this airship with this old lady called Fletch. Boy, talk about my dating options these days. And so I started to set up some tents and fireplace, and oh my god, look at the size of this spider! Okay, that's it. I'm burning down this whole place and I'm going back home. Boy, how do I even start with day 2? So, this guy whose name I forgot showed up offering goods, but apparently I will need a license to even wipe my butt, so he refused to sell me anything. So I started to get these licenses for mining, woodcutting, fishing, farming, and more. This oversized bird was annoying me, and even though I did not have the hunting license, no oversized chicken is going to bother me. So I used my woodcutting axe because you simply cannot mess with a guy in Australian bush who's wearing only t-shirt and shorts. Look, I don't even have a pair of socks. On day 3, things escalated quickly as the big birds found out about what I did to their friend with the axe, so they attacked. Dark Souls, you got nothing on me. After that, I did a lot of fishing. I started a small tree orchard, and I found these two having conversation waist deep in the water. So I guess I will either need no peeing in the pool sign or a deed to construct an outhouse. Day 4 was interesting as the guy from whom I keep buying things decided to move in with us, so I needed a deed which will get me in debt. Great, first my mortgage loan and now this. So I worked on getting the very specific resources into the bin so that the construction can start, and because it was raining, I did a lot of fishing. As my father would say, it's better to go fishing when you have a light rain. This comes from a guy who packs a full car of gear and won't catch even flu. I also managed to kill this lizard who looked straight out of Jurassic Park, and I got a thunder sack out of it. I wanted to make a joke about how that is my nickname, but I got 96 days to go, so I do not want to creep everyone out at the start, which is probably why talking about it in the first place is a bad idea. Day 5 was such an amazing day. I got mail about how I destroyed the local fish population so I can have a better license. And when I got it, I was so happy. You see, with the second tier, you see these bubbles in the water, and you can jump into the water, dive, and grab whatever is there, which is much faster than fishing. I also somehow made it to the northern beach, which was just covered in seashells. Day 6 was here and John finally opened his shop. However, I'm not sure what the hell is he smoking, as the way he values items is weird. I mean, 10 grand for a beehive? After that, I started to work on my fashion brand by turning a couple of crocs into handbags. Day 7 was here and so was Theodore, a guy who demanded that I will take on even bigger loan and put myself in more debt so that he can open up a museum in middle of nowhere. So I did, and I delivered all the things which were required, and at night, as I was going back home, this weird looking creature started to chase me. Day 8 was terrible. I really did not enjoy not being able to sell things to John because I had to carry all the fish and bugs in my pants and they just kept moving around in them. Don't ask. I also did manage to kill one of these fire-breathing Pokemon, but in the evening, a damn croc killed me. On day 9, another traveling merchant showed up. Irvin, I think was his name, and because I had the license, I was able to buy my first chicken nugget from him, for which I had to build a coop. Problem was that my orchard still did not produce any crops, so I could not go full vegan and tell everyone about it. Man, this dingo looks tasty. I wonder if I can turn him into a stew. The 10th day was a long day. I discussed with the old lady that we need 5 people to be considered an official settlement and have a town hall. Great, even more depth. After that, I went on exploratory journey to the south, where I came across a lot of apples, and in the evening I built this wall for my chicken nugget so it won't wander off because a dingo almost ate it. Day 11 was another busy day as I went to see Irvin, who wanted old furniture, and since I did not have any, I decided to buy my second chicken and I named it Tender. You know, chicken tender. Don't ask, just go with it. The list of things that are wrong with me is honestly longer than this video is going to be. Day 12 was approved that I should not be released into gaming wilderness as I saw a crocodile eat few dingoes. After which I swam into the open ocean and I fought a shark. And when his friend showed up, I killed him too. In the evening I worked on fetching carp for Theodore. Lucky for me, I found this really great fishing spot that did not disappoint me. Day 13 started with Clover, the clothing merchant, showing up and she wanted prime meat, which I honestly did not know where to find. I did manage to get my deep mining license, however, as the surface deposits were quite hard to come by. Later that day, I tried again hunting sharks, but these sharks were scared of me. I guess if I was in the Jaws, the movie, they would need a bigger ocean. Day 14 was interesting as I did not know if the game has animal migration in it, but when I walked out of my tent, I saw dingoes, kangaroos everywhere. Like I even literally had to fight with one oversized bird in front of the museum. I did jobs for John and Theodore. I got even more in depth with the mine, and at night I found this dude with bucket on his head who sells really overpriced hunting supplies. Day 15 was another proof that this place is going to be difficult as I had 2 crocs in the river and a shark. So after turning them into my lunch, because I still could not tell anyone about being vegan because there was no traveling merchant today, I worked on changing the orchard by chopping down trees and planting a lot of bush limes. In the evening, I noticed that Irvin was here, but it was too late and I did not manage to buy another chicken from him. When day 16 rolled in, so did I. Well, I rolled more out of my sleeping bag, and to my surprise, the mine was already prepared. So I grabbed few supplies, like torches, food, and spare pickaxe, and I went in. I usually do mines with a trick I picked up with Minecraft, where I keep all the torches attached to the right side of the wall. So when you keep following along these torches, you are going further away from the entry point, and when they are on your left side, you know that you are returning. That idea went out of the window quickly, as here I needed a lot of them to keep the place lit. Man, talk about bat infestation. I was not sure if I would find Bruce Wayne hidden somewhere with all these bats. On the 17th day, there was another storm, which was convenient as rain finally showed up and I was able to buy onion and melon seeds, after which I spent the day preparing the crops and fence, but I realized I will require a melon to make a scarecrow. Day 18 was spent gardening as I had no idea how melons work in this game, so I wasn't sure if I need to hoe the surrounding tiles around the stem of the crop, and so I made a controlled sample. Half of the crops I hoed around and half of them I left alone. I then went into the mines where I came across this cool bat statue. Just don't let Ozzy Osbourne know about this all-you-can-eat bat buffet. I managed to find a ruby and I started to use this copper hammer, which I was honestly not a big fan of. Day 19 was spent with my nose in the ground as I was metal detecting as I came across second relay antenna, and a lot of these things that are needed for it can be found by you doing metal detecting. It's just not my most favorite adrenaline-filled sport in this game. On day 20, I decided to chill back and watch TV. And it was actually Shark Week, which was quite convenient. So let's take a look at what are they playing. Oi! This is a shark-infested water. I'm gonna swim in it! Nah, but seriously, I had a weird idea about what I should do, and because I read that the vehicle operation license can allow me to use boats, and there were all these rivers, I started to dig up a tunnel to connect two bodies of water so that I can get around much easier. Day 21 was interesting as I did manage to screw up a couple of things. So Rain was here again and she wanted some food, but when I offered her cooked crocodile, she refused. I guess she's one of those vegans where everything has to be gluten-free. I swam down to the most southern island expecting some sort of miracle, but all I found were 3 bush devils. And I did some of that wombat combat, I guess you can call it. The fun thing is that they can breathe fire, but they are not fire resistant. I also discovered my 3rd relay tower, but this croc ate one of my shoes. On day 22, I did not make a dink. I mean, well, John closes his shop, so what would you expect? But because the day before I caught 2 turkeys, I decided to see if I can do more, and so I did. I managed to catch a dingo, one of those spiky things which look like a nature when Spotify mixes your music into a playlist. And I also managed to catch a crocodile. Man, that was so annoying. He kept breaking out of that cage so much. I also discovered that these 2 weird golden nuggets... Look at me with my 2 golden balls of joy. Day 23 is a proof that I have got to be the world's most stubborn idiot. So after I sold those 2 kidney stones to John, which are apparently amber chunks and not gold, I found a shark in a river, and because I was able to cram a crocodile into a box made out of sticks, I was determined to cram this shark into the trap. So I spent literally half of my day trying to do it. Maybe next time I will not attack the shark first, maybe it needs to be at full HP. This was followed by mining expedition, where I kept making the glowing crocodiles fight the bush devils, while I kept taking bets on who will win which fight. Another thing I discovered was that I can actually dig through these walls. Thank God the game made it so obvious for me, as it was sending me these clear signals. This probably explains a lot about my dating life too. I really need clear signals. Okay, day 24 was so far the most fun I had in the mines. Despite the fact that I had only like 2 torches, the game still makes it easy for you to navigate back to your elevator, as the map or a path you take in the upper right corner shows this lack of fog of war, so you can make your way back. I managed to find this chamber with chest that has miner's hat in it, which I will need to learn how to recharge. After that, I found my first ruby node, and this is when things escalated quickly, as it was hard to count in all the hubbub, but I counted at least 5 to 6 bush devils with like 6 bats on top of it. So after they started to attack me, I relied on their own friendly fire to kill one another. The funniest thing was that after I delivered this ruby to the elevator, I went few feet away from it and I found another ruby free of any combat whatsoever. I also came across a small bug as I saw a little cavern on the map, and when I was digging in my way towards it, there was one of the luminescent crocodiles stuck in the wall. Well, day 25 sucked. I woke up and found crocodiles infesting the river, and because I only had the stupid hammer, I ended up getting killed by the 3 crocodiles. I seriously need a spear. The slingshot is a total joke. On day 26, I wanted to make up for the lost time, so I harvested my melons, and one of them I turned into the scarecrow. I sold my gems to John, and one of them was worth 91,000 dinks. I almost wanted to retire after that, but there were still many more things to do, and so I went into the mines, and the whole time I kept wondering, who is the apex predator? Is it the glowing croc or the bush demon? I loved day 27, mostly because I started to use this guide for dummies which I bought from John days ago, and it showed me what I can put into what tool. I was able to find out that the shiny rocks I was picking up were able to be ground, and I kept getting resources out of them. I then started to use my boat, and I found out that when I'm on it, I do not aggro the crocs. Now just to test it with the sharks. Day 28 made me feel like I did enough for the 25th day fiasco. I started the day by buying a brand new house, which I have no idea what I will be using for. And after that, I fixed my second relay tower. I also got a quest to hunt down the alpha crocodile. And I did just that, proving that I am the ultimate apex predator in Los Nubivera. Day 29 was another Sunday, so that meant no trading, but I was able to pick up the commission of bulletin board, and one of them was weird as Theodore wanted photo of John. My god, you cannot escape OnlyFans even in indie games these days. After that I went into the mines and got pretty lost, but shockingly did discover 3 of those secret chambers relatively close to one another, and I caught this new fish in the mines. Day 30 was fun as I realized all my crops withered, and I was not sure if it was because I forgot to water them or because if it was fall season, so now I planted new crop. Later that day I tried to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag by hunting the sharks off my boat. That was not a good idea apparently. Day 31 is a proof that if I would not have the footage, nobody would believe me. Okay, so I took the commission to capture one of the glowing crocs. I did not even think this would be possible, and this comes from a guy who literally tried to put a shark into a cage made out of sticks. On the ride up, the cage broke, however, and I did not know where the crocodile disappeared to. When I left the elevator, he was out there, so I managed to deliver him. The bigger problem I however had with the lizard that gives you thunder sack. This guy kept breaking out of the cage over and over again, and it happened when I was carrying him over the bridge. He ended up at the bottom of the river and he somehow did not die. So because I did not want to give up on him, using my ingenuity I placed a patch of dirt underneath him which elevated him, allowing me to put the cage underneath the lizard and then capture him and drop him off to the damn drop-off point. Man, what a day. I need a beer. Day 32 was a day when I was not sure if the game is just messing with me, but when I went to look for the 4th relay tower, I found 3 sharks spawned in this small lake. So I had to try and catch them in a cage. And well, it did not work. This made me actually use Google to find out that it cannot be done. Turns out you can only reel in shark with the iron fishing rod, but that's about it. Day 33 was great as Irvin decided to move in, so I was again in debt. After that I went and fought the alpha kangaroo, after which while looking for these hidden treasures I came across another one of them kidney stones. Day 34 was spent doing the one activity I really do not enjoy so far, and that is metal detecting, as this is the only way I can fix my 3rd relay antenna. Day 35 was not great as I went to try and fix the 4th antenna, but I came across way too many of these oversized chickens, and because I was screwing around with the fire bat and I did not eat the cooked crocodile meat, which increases the size of your HP pool, I got knocked the hell out. Day 36 was mining day, and through the whole thing I was thinking, what if I would have that bad zapper from the weird fella who has this can on his head? On the 37th day it was raining again, and I guess I did not really have any plan, so I just spent it by setting up a banana plantation, and I kept wandering around trying to do a bunch of the commissions like catch a black dingo or doggo, or what the hell do they call them in here. I guess I kept thinking about how when I went to Australia back those couple of years ago, we went to see the Uluru Rock Formation in the middle of the continent, and while we were there, one night it actually rained. I swear I could not make this up. The next morning, the whole desert was in bloom, It was one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen. The 38th day was spent treasure hunting in order for me to fix the Ford Relay Tower. Man, I hope I get something different than all these gaming mouse and mechanical keyboards, but at least when I sell them to John, I can make nice money out of it. On day 39, rain finally showed up, and thank God, because I think my farming skill was still not even at level 1. Because so far the one harvest of onions I had was really nothing, and I got most of the experience by watering my crops. And apparently when you harvest watermelons, it counts as foraging. So I bought like 50 cabbage seeds, and I went and I battled the alpha kangaroo. After which I worked on my new cookbook, How to Cook a Dingo 101 Ways, now available on Amazon. Day 40 was another milestone reached as I spent the whole day by watering crops, chopping down trees, replanting them, and getting this yellow wildflower seed, as when you brew the yellow flower, you get this juice out of the kegs, which enhances your mining, so you can smack a node of ore once with good pickaxe and break it and not therefore deteriorate the tool too fast. The reason behind the busy work was another deed and even more debt. If day 41 could be defined by a song, it would be probably Panama from Van Halen. But I won't, because creative freedom my ass and copyright issues. Anyhow, as you can assume, I built another waterway to get to another body of water. Man, I really think I need a land vehicle. Day 42 was interesting as there was a commission about a fallen object from the skies, and when I went to investigate it, I got distracted along the way by some poop. And you know me by now, I don't waste crap. So when I washed my hands, I kept rowing and I managed to catch 2 merlins, putting all these TV shows about big fishing boats and God knows how many fishing rods to shame, as I was able to do it just by using this little boat. When I finally got to the spot, it turned out to be a crashed satellite, so I destroyed it because it was a proof that the government is watching. I also came across a possible bug as I did sell crops, but the daily task did not recognize tomatoes as crops. Day 43 was another Sunday, and by now I got pretty used to spending those days in the mines, but I was pleased to see a new person show up at the visitor's tent. I got almost a heart attack when I was given for 38 shiny discs over 300,000 dinks. Unfortunately, I was only able to apparently get 1 blueprint research, but the list sure got longer thanks to all those donated discs. I then ran around the mines until I found at least 1 ruby. Day 44 was such a fun day. I started it by getting in depth because a bank is apparently needed to be built in middle of nowhere. Later that day, I got the fishing license and I made that iron fishing rod, and once again I found a shark somehow in a small lake. And I caught him twice because apparently you cannot carry the dude to the museum or put him in almighty pocket of your shorts. No, he just gets dizzy for a minute before he starts attacking again. I mean, come on! Day 45 could be considered day of experiments, as it was raining and I tried to water the crops because so far that was the only way for me to get farming experience properly. That did not work, unfortunately, so I tried to come up with faster way to reel in the fish, and I think I got it, but you need to be close on the boat against shore, and the fish will need to swim in right angle away from you to get stuck against the shore, because if you deviate from that right angle, the fish will slide alongside the shore and put the distance between you and it. Problem with the strategy is how highly specific the conditions are. Also, this will need more testing, as while I was catching fish on my boat, I was standing on it and a croc decided to attack me. Day 46 was great because I had a massive harvest of crops and somehow stars aligned and I had cabbage, corn and tomatoes all at the same time. So I was able to increase my farming from level 5 all the way up to 8. But I was still struggling to understand the point of reeling in a shark and stunning it for a moment. On day 47 we had rain again, so the only farming I did was with the couple of tomatoes. Later I picked up a commission to capture a frilly and once again it ended up at the bottom of a river. And the night was spent catching fish. Apparently if I want to catch merlin specifically, I can only do so between 11 AM and 5 PM. On day 48, I got mail about some new species of fish in the Northern Sea, and I saw the problem of not having the bodies of water connected through a bunch of canals, so I was thinking that will be my Sunday plan. I however paddled to the North Sea hoping to get merlins, but instead I got stingray, yellowfin tuna, and a couple of barracudas. Day 49 was commission day as I went into the mines to catch a glowing croc, and maybe because it was slightly deep fried from bush devil, it did not struggle inside of the cage, which made it nice and easy. That did not however prepare me for what was about to happen later that day as I went and fought bush devil on steroids. It had shotgun blast and artillery strike. Seriously, is this some sort of Pokemon? Day 50 was finally here, and with such significant milestone, I wasn't really sure what to do. The good news was that my wombat was finally fully mature, and it went from this cute little thing to this massive thing. Problem was apparently wombats are being milked, and I named my Joey, which was really weird because he insisted on eye contact. So I tried to forget the trauma by working on another Panama Canal. Day 51 I remember a little strangely as I recall I was on a boat and then I felt this pain in the back of my head. Next thing was happening was fight with this big furry Pokemon which kept using some serious fireworks. Made me almost feel like another New Year's Eve. On the 52nd day, I got myself second wombat and I named her Kimberly. Later that day, I started to wonder if the yellow flowers in a keg restore stamina, red flowers restore health, what the hell does the blue jelly from jellyfish do? Does that mean if I would have a female character, I would get a leg cramp? Day 53 sucked as Franklin showed up, but I found out that I would need the second tier of handling vehicles license to get either a bike or jet ski. And when I went to the bank to find out how much is the transfer rate, apparently I would need 500,000 dinks to get 1,000 license points. And I am not such a dingus to see that that is not worth it. So I took out my anger on Alpha Bush Devil and I caught a Scorpio. See, 100 license points just like that. Day 54 was amazing as I received the recharging station and indeed you can use it for the mining helmets. And so I packed my boat and went to the South Ocean where I caught 5 merlin, after which I spent the night looking for treasure because selling merlin and shiny discs and all this other crap is quite profitable and I will need a lot of things to get these license points if I want my jet ski. Oh, and before I went to sleep I caught this big ass spider. Day 55 was when rain finally showed up and on the 27th of fall, I was not sure what would happen, but when she offered me seeds, wheat and sugarcane that grows all year around, I bought 180 of each and expanded my farm. I caught one of the Warimus for a bigger reward and I gave Rain a piece of furniture to make her more likely to stay here. On day 56, I did not feel like doing too much, so I watched some TV. Let's see what's on. Tonight, on History Channel, we will show you how man uses wolves to hunt animals, because when was the last time you did any cardio? Later, we will transport you to a place where a farmer found crop circles in his field, and he was shocked to find out that it was caused by the bank employee who was watering his crops. After that, we will show you the deadliest catch as a man on a wooden raft catches a merlin. With day 57, the new farming license rolled in, which allows me to upgrade my watering can, my home, and make few more blueprints. Sharks spawned in the mangroves, so yeah, I ate it, and I caught my 2 wombats giving each other Eskimo kisses. Oh my god, they're so cute I could just die! I also caught Irvin stealing my farming experience by watering the crops. In the evening, I went coconut hunting and this kangaroo tried to steal my boat. Hey! Hey! That's my boat! My boat! On day 58, I decided to make a change as I removed the gate from my farm so that the others cannot get there and steal my farming experience. I also went and got myself the bad zapper from the bucket man. Day 59 is going to be dedicated to how amazing the Bat Zapper actually is. I mean, goddamn. Not only was this thing able to kill large swarms of bats around me, but on top of it, I was able to find out that you can simultaneously stun bush devils and crocodiles in the mines, allowing me to put into them like 6 hits, and before they snap out of being paralyzed, they are almost dead. Day 60 was another milestone day, so I celebrated it by purchasing another wombat, which I followed by battling another alpha bush devil, making me kind of regret not having the bad zapper on me to test out if you can actually stun an alpha animal with this thing, but I did manage to get the bone bow and couple of arrows. Unfortunately, day 61 I had to do twice as I wasn't able to finish the initial recording because my SSD was fully packed with all the Dinkum footage so far. I therefore ended up deciding to switch my plans and I started to look for beehives as I read on the wiki that you actually require queen bee in order to set up your own bee house so that it will start producing honey for you. Unfortunately, not all beehives, however, give you queen bee when you break them up, and you also cannot sell them therefore to John. I ended up anyhow donating to Theodore the bee and the queen bee, which I managed to catch because I need the goddamn license points, and I also upgraded my home. Day 62 was the day when I almost caused a desertification in the local area as I chopped down so many trees while hunting down for beehives. I barely managed to catch that cockatoo, and fun thing was that in one of the beehives I managed to find, I had 2 bees, but the second beehive had 2 queen bees. How fun is that? So I spent the night replanting the entire forest. Day 63 was interesting as I harvested my wheat and I started to turn it into flour, which I learned also goes into your farming skills, so haha. I did bunch of missions and in the museum I was able to buy a book which helped me identify what species I'm surrounded with, and on top of it, it shows how many things you get for selling them. Day 64 was educational as I took my bug encyclopedia to the mines and I found out that each one of the glowing bugs was worth over 2,580 dinks, so 10 of them would basically pay for one of your mining licenses. Unfortunately, I found out that placing anything besides the rubies or fossils inside of the elevator is impossible, and therefore if you don't have these things in your pocket, you cannot sell them to John. Day 65 was amazing as Theodore sold me the fish encyclopedia, which allowed me to catch 4 brand new species of fish, and thanks to the book I found out that it's not the size which can determine the value of the fish, so I ended up catching a bunch of anchovies throughout the night. Day 66 was exploration day as I was running around with my books looking for those new species, as let's face it, I'm too cheap to spend $500,000 on 1,000 license points, especially if helicopter costs 3 million dinks. Unfortunately, the waters were croc infested, so even while I was fishing, I had to watch my six. On day 67, I had my sugarcane harvest, and because I had a little taste of the sugar, I got so excited I accidentally cut down some cane that was not yet even ready to be harvested. But that got me thinking, as the platypus was ready to provide me with the wool the second day I had her, what if I would move my farm beyond the river, because rain finally decided to move in permanently. So I started to set up my new farm across the river by the mine, and I feel like I will need more farming space. Day 68 started nicely as I caught brand new species of fish, I bought another platypus, and the rest of the day was spent with preparation for another portion of the farm. Man, I cannot wait to get a blueprint for sprinklers. On day 69, nothing kinky happened, unfortunately. I did give Sally something slimy, but it was only a fish she wanted, so I spent the day mostly prepping the farm and tending to the animals. Day 70 was finally here, and don't get me wrong, I am having fun with the game, but goddamn, 35 minutes per day is too damn long. So if you are enjoying the video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. Also, I farmed and caught a bunch of fish, and I purchased carrots to be planted, so I expanded one of the farms, allowing me to reach level 20 of farming. Day 71 rolled in, and so did the message from the old lady that I can get another farming license, and of course, I did not have the points I needed. So after that, I did few jobs for townspeople, I got a recycling bin, and I caught a merlin, which made me think I should go fishing with this book. If only Franklin would finally show up so I can get my jet ski. Day 72 can be considered fun, but I did have to spend 250k to get the license points in order for me to unlock the third tier of farming. And because it was raining, I did not level up my farming skill, but I did have a massive kale harvest. The night I did spend fishing, and I found the dude with the bucket on his head on like the most southern part of the entire island. I just really want to find out how can I assign these stupid empty houses to the NPCs. Also, I was so ecstatic when I found out that someone has placed a chainsaw into the recycling bin, because now Franklin does not have to research it for me. On day 73, I watched TV again as Animal Planet had this show on. Today on Animal Planet, we travel deep into Outback, where crocodiles and sharks battle for the superiority and title of the apex predator. Who will win? Find out after these commercials. Did Dingo eat your baby? Did you eat the dingo? Hi, I'm Max of Outback Steakhouse Extreme, and we are running a special discount on all our meats. Do you want to eat a lot and do not want to question what you are eating? Then come on over. We got turkey butts, chicken with drumstick the size of your leg, and for salad, you can go to McDonald's. We don't do that here.
Outback Steakhouse Extreme. Punish your toilet.
Back to Animal Planet. So, yeah, the shark swam away and the crocodile got tired. Day 74 was pretty normal. I did manage to catch a new type of bug, and I was so eager to put it in my pocket, I forgot this is for YouTube, so I had to look into my inventory in order to find out what the hell did I just catch. I also bought another wombat and spent the day farming and looking for unknown bugs. Day 75 was a proof that the dog is man's best friend, as after I pet my pooch, he followed me, and despite me testing the Bat Zapper on Alpha Bush Devil and finding out it does not work, my cute dingo helped me fight the fire-breathing monster. I did however start to wonder why was nobody trying to domesticate the Bush Devils and turn them into cavalry. Can you imagine charging at enemy with these monsters and shooting fireballs at the enemy as well? We would be unstoppable. On day 76, I had a letter in my mailbox about an unknown species of fish which can be found in the Southern Ocean. So after finally getting a killing order for something besides an alpha bush devil, I went and fought alpha croc. And I realized I was all night on my boat, but the map does not really tell you where south is. Day 77 was big day as Franklin finally decided to show up, so after selling him all my fire mixtapes, I got the jet ski. I also saw a crocodile pull a disappearing act on me, and I came across another kidney stone. Day 78 was great as I went mining as per usual for Sunday, and I was so happy because I was right beside a ruby when I descended. I managed to come across a lake with 3 of the fish, and since every one of them is worth 18,000, that is one overpriced anchovy. I also managed to find a second ruby. If I would have one word to describe day 79, it would be money, 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 money! I sold the 2 rubies and the kidney stone. I also sold the fish from the mines, and when I was done with everything around my little settlement, I went on a jet ski ride, and man, this thing is stupid fast and fun. I got to the ocean in matter of seconds where I caught a merlin, and I also managed to harvest 6 pearls while driving circles around sharks. Day 80 was here, and I had a mission. A mission to deliver a bunch of birds to the drop-off. Now normally I'm fine with these despite some issues in the past, but I had to fetch a moo, which is that big ass brown bird that does not want to attack you. And apparently they all went on a vacation to the island called Bye-Bye because it took me half a day just to find one. On day 81, I had lots of fun as it was a great proof of what kind of idiot I am. So I picked up a commission on the board for a photo of Ruby, and I was thinking which one of the NPCs is Ruby. Only later when I googled it, I realized Theodore wants a photo of the Ruby from the mines, so I went down and found 2 and took a photo for him. Fun thing, which I also noticed, was that when my platypuses were sleeping, their wool was already regrown on the same day when I sheared them already. Day 82 was mixed as I did manage to catch a couple of high valued fish and find some pearls, but one of my machines for grinding up seeds into flour got all buggy and I was not able to fix it or destroy it. So I spent the night metal detecting as I was hoping for at least one more visit from Franklin. On day 83, I finally had 1 million dinks in my pocket, and I spent the day doing fetch quests by hunting for bugs and looking for beehives so I can take a photo of it. This one was at least doable. It was only one time I saw a thunder egg and I did not think about taking a photo of it, but there was commission for even stuff like that. Day 84 was important as it was the last day of winter, and in anticipation for the upcoming spring, I started to make water tower and sprinklers when I ran out of copper again. On top of it, I found the bucket man, but I swear he can whistle and be far away, making it really difficult to find him, so I had another bad zapper made. The 85th day started great, as it was spring, so I managed to catch a brand new species of bug, and I bought a lot of crop seeds, because I needed more sprinklers for them. However, I was forced to go into the mines. I managed to find 1 ruby, but when I found the second one and I wanted to bring it to the elevator, it was too late, and after 11 PM, the mines start to shake, and at midnight, the gas filled the mines and I got poisoned, not being able to finish carrying the second ruby to the elevator. This was really unfortunate as I was only a couple of feet away from it. By day 86, I had a steady routine. In the morning, while shops were closed, I tended to my animals. It's just Joey still insists on keeping an eye contact while I milk him. I swear of all the wombats, I get one as weird as I am. Later that day, I caught at least 3 new species of fish which were new, and I expanded my sprinklers and also found another kidney stone. 87th day was when I met with a couple of obstacles, as Clover decided to move to Los Nubivera, but unfortunately those stupid guest houses which I'm not using for anything were obstructing a pretty nice spot, so I took the deed and I paid for a guest house to be relocated. I was not able to choose which one is going to be moved, so I guess it's specifically related to the one from the list of deeds I chose. I was therefore not yet able to start the construction on her shop, so I went catching grasshoppers and monarch butterflies, and the night was spent fishing for tuna, barracuda, and other species. The weirdest thing was, however, when John wanted a photo of Fletch, and when I took it with the other lovely ladies in the town, after I gave it to him, he locked the shop and weird noises were coming from within. Day 88 was busy day as I did manage to catch a new bug, however I also picked up a commission from Theodore about a photo with glowing croc and one of the kangaroos. I went to the mines and I had one of the worst seeds of a map yet, and whenever I tried to take a photo of a croc, they started to attack me. I guess they are not fans of Instagram. Taking photos of the kangaroos was even worse as they would not sit on a spot for too long. So I decided to screw the quest and I went fishing instead at night, and I found this amazing spot with lots of high value fish around. Also, it was a proof about how lucky stupid people can be, as the deed for moving of a guest house moved exactly the one I needed, so I was able to start the construction of the clothing store. Day 89 really tested me as I thought I would flip a desk. So the day started with the usual chores, but I wanted to test out if the same fishing spot would actually provide me with the same results. Shockingly, it actually did manage to do so, and I managed to catch a lot of trevella fish, and thanks to the elevated place, I was able to kill a lot of jellyfish. The reason why I almost flipped the desk was because I finally found a warmoo and they laid their eggs. So when I tried to steal it, I placed it on the back of the jet ski, but it fell into the water and it cracked. Fortunately, I eventually came across another nest and I managed to steal another egg and put it on the jet ski without breaking it. With day 90, the game truly started, as the day before I spent $500,000 in the bank in order to get my 1000 license points, as I was broke, but I did get the license for vehicles. The fun thing was that I sold my idea to DreamWorks or some other studio, and I made Angry Birds movie as Warimus lay eggs in spring, and so I raided their nest, becoming a little too greedy as I was pushing the limit of how many eggs I can put on the back of my jet ski. First, I had 4 of them, but later I managed to put 6, well 5, I managed to break one again. I raided at least 3 nests of eggs that day. Oh yeah, also I had to go catch a glowing croc in the mines. Oh, and I could not make this up. The ruby node spawned right in front of the gated room. Day 91 was great, well, not for John. He could not step away from the counter as I kept bringing in more and more eggs. He was so glad when I sold him the last one, as he said he will unfortunately have to close the shop during Sunday to air out the smell. Little did he know that I managed to fetch 3 more eggs that day, and I spent the night out past my bedtime fishing at another amazing spot, catching 2 tuna and 3 barracudas. Day 92 was absolutely hilarious as I had almost full backpack of fish, and because I saw another high value fish, I had to catch it. Then I had to stack up all the fish on the shore. Poor John. First his shop smells like a big bird's ass, and now it's going to smell like sushi bar when the fish of questionable freshness has been delivered. I then went mining, and I had so far the best luck yet. Again, I discovered ruby by one of the locked chambers, and I managed to get 3 ruby nodes that run. Day 93 was here, and John was not ready as I started to slam his weight with rubies after that bunch of eggs, When his weight was overworked, I started to bring all that fish and even some flour as Franklin was back in town, and so I kept selling things to John, even sold 18 discs to Franklin, and I wanted to buy the tractor as I had the 1.5 million dinks, but he told me that I need some special license for agricultural vehicles, so I honestly said F it, and at this point I wanted the tractor more for the novelty of having it for the thumbnail, and I would have rather got my backpack space upgraded or one of the other licenses which I wanted. But I decided to get the motorbike instead, and I spent the night fishing, and later I purchased the second tier of commerce license. Overall, I made 600,000 dinks that day alone. The 94th day started by me collecting bike from Franklin and taking it for a ride, and I got to say, this thing is not as much fun as the jet ski. So I did few quests like destroying another satellite and having the worst Uber passenger, but the funniest thing was how I thought I can fight a bush devil off the jet ski, and I ended up as his lunch. Look at this guy munching on my foot. Day 95 was dedicated to me making up for the screw up of how I ended day 94. Since Franklin showed up again, which surprised me, I decided to do another job for him as the last one. Well, he requested, I guess because he's Anyhow, he was so happy he decided to open a shop in town. I kept wondering about how did my wombats manage to squeeze their tushy between the two huts and poop outside of the fence. I caught new species of dragonfly, and because I lost the jet ski in the river, I had to go and fetch it where I swam with the crocs, and when I was posing for a possible thumbnail photo, I caught another new species of dragonfly, and I also expanded my farm further. What a day the 96th day was. I did all the usual stuff around the settlement and the farm, but I wanted to get me a fossil, so I went into the mines and I was breaking through thousands of rocks and I finally managed to get one. The fun thing is that the game kind of bugged out and I was spawned into one of the locked chambers and it destroyed half of its walls so I could get to the chest. The best part, however, was that as I kept breaking through all these stones, I came across 3 ruby nodes. On day 97, I went to visit Franklin and his new shop, and he told me that since I managed to fix all these towers around Lost New Bavaria, he will be giving me a special deed for some special building so we can connect them to the grid, man. I had to travel around the island to find more shiny discs, which was little difficult without the metal detector. Day 98 was when the teleportation device was ready, so I can basically skip the whole traveling thing across the map and just have a jet ski in my pocket. As I did however had the compactor, I did use it and I did manage to dramatically increase the size of one of the farms. Day 99 was here and soon my adventure would be over, so I decided for the last time to venture into the depths of the outback to see what riches are waiting for me. Not only did I discover a paraglider, which turned out to be a lot of fun, allowing me to finally get on top of the museum, I also did something I never did before as I found 4 rubies that night. Man, what a great day. By the time I got to day 100, it took me 67.5 hours to get to it. And I have to say, I had absolute blast every minute of it. My initial plan was selfish to expand the farm, but I said screw it, and let's do tasks for every single NPC in the town, as they were the people who made the town of Lost New Bavaria feel so special. This gave me a chance to catch fish, tend to the animals. I found 2 more species of the creepy crawlies in the water. Overall, I have to say that I kind of remember the last time I had this much fun, and considering that this game is still in early access, this should be a template of what a game in early access should be like. I was able to catch 32 out of 34 species of fish. I caught 34 out of 41 bugs. I caught 16 out of the 19 creepy crawlies that are at the bottom of the water, and I was missing 6 people in the settlement. And sure, I admit, I did not like the aesthetic of my town, but I would have not moved around a lot of things, and considering how stupid amount of time it took me to just get some of the bush lines to start producing fruit, I just rather went fishing to not have to look at it. And with that, another 100 days video is out on the channel, and I already started possibly working on another one, so if you like this one, give it a big thumbs up. I really appreciate the support, and if you like what I do here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and you can let me know in the comments all the things I have done wrong, or any tips which you would have for Dinkum, or if you would like me to maybe do day 100 till day 200 or something like this. No, Joey, that's not how you sleep. Leave Kimberly alone, you weird wombat.